everyone, we are live. So I am super excited because it is the first day of a brand new month. It is also the first day of the final quarter of 2021. Can you believe it? Oh my God, I can't believe how quickly this year has gone. It's crazy. Anyway, so if you are new to this group or this community, my name's Jody. I'm the co-founder of The 7 Effect, also the creator of the Lifestyle Entrepreneurs Academy, a new program that's launching in 2022 that we are really excited about, and the leader of the Freedom Fest movement. And I am making a commitment right now to you all to show up in this arena, the coaching arena for lifestyle entrepreneurs, every single day of October for 31 days straight. Now, it's actually school holidays and I'm officially on holiday, but I snuck away a couple of weeks earlier and took 2 weeks off of last term to be on holiday. So I'm coming to you from the beautiful beaches. Now it's actually a green screen behind me and I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring up my whiteboard in a minute and do some drawing of a model for you. But you might be thinking, well, why the heck is Jody, Mrs. I only work 3 days a week, coming in here every day to do this with us? And it's a really good question. And one I am about to answer. But before I do that, I wanted to just say thank you everyone for voting in the poll. For those of you that have actually voted in the poll that I did, just finding out what sort of topics you want to talk about, how I can help you. That really helps. I've pinned the poll to the top of this group if you want to go and stick your votes in. Also, please feel free as we go throughout October. I'm expecting, we might not have anyone tuning in live for the first week or so, and then we might get a few people, and then we might get some momentum. I'll talk to you a little bit about in a moment where my inspiration to do this came from. But you don't have to jump on here live and watch this while I'm speaking. If you do, it's great because then we get to have a bit of a two-way conversation, and I really love that. But please feel free to ask me your questions, make requests, tell me what you need. You've got 31 days of me being willing and excited to show up, share, teach, inspire, coach, encourage, listen, troubleshoot, whatever it is you need, I am here to do it. So you might be thinking, well, why? Tell me why, Jody. And if I was Simon Sinek, I would have started with the why. But here's my big why. So over the last couple of weeks, I've been watching, what would you call it? It's like a seminar. What do you call those online things that you can go to and they have lots of different speakers and then you pay for the recordings anyway. Anyway, it was called Lights, Camera, Live, and it's hosted by Ecamm, which is the platform that I'm speaking to you through at the moment. Ecamm's an Apple-only kind of software plugin, one of my favorite things. And one of my goals is to really master the art of live broadcasting and to play with, I'm a creative at heart. I love learning things. I love being creative, but I get tripped up by technology a lot of the time, and I find myself procrastinating and making excuses and not doing the things that I want to do. And I'm sure you can relate because these are the kind of comments I hear from our clients in the Lifestyle Business Builder as well. By the way, if you are watching live, drop me a hi in the comments. If you click the link above this, there'll be a little link saying it's okay to show your permission, and your profile pic will even come up and I'll know who it is that's tuning in. So anyway, here I am watching this stuff. I've got a goal to really master the art of live broadcasting and using Ecamm in a super slick way. At the moment, I'm a bit of a rookie with it. And this is exciting because you're going to see my journey unfold. Maybe not as exciting for you as it is for me. It's exciting for me. You might not even give a crap. it's exciting for me to see the journey unfold over the next 31 days and see how schmick can I make this stuff. And so that's the goal, right? Anyway, the other night I was watching one of the video sessions through Lights Camera Live, the online whatever it is, the recordings of this symposium, online conference, summit's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, that's it. And there's a guy called Pat Flynn who is like an original podcaster. He's been podcasting for like 12 years before podcasting was such a big thing. And I'd heard of Pat Flynn, but I did not know that he did this. So from March 2020, when the sort of pandemic began and everyone went into lockdown, he showed up live to his community. Now, he's got a lot of people and he broadcasts live out to YouTube, which I'm going to have a practice at as well during our time in the October Fest. And he got such a great response and people showing up and asking questions. You know, he got a couple of people first and then he got a few more people the next time. And he said, I'm going to just do this for a week just to check in with everyone and see how you are all going through this alarming news of we're going into lockdown. And so he did it for a week and he found that it was really beneficial for him, for his community. And then he decided, you know what, I'm just going to keep going. And he did it for an entire year. 365 days he showed up and he went live. And it was really interesting. And he said this, he said, did it grow my community? No, his community didn't really grow from this strategy at all. But would I do it again? Well, he didn't say it like that. He'd said, was it worth it? Because I don't know if he's planning to do it again, but he said, was it worth it? Didn't grow my community. Why bother? But he said it was 100% worth it because it deepened his community. It created so much depth and so much connection and so much collaboration that he said, you know what, my community after that was so tight and so strong that it was just 100% worth it. So anyway, I'm not going to do 365 days, but what I am going to commit to for 3 reasons, which I'll talk to you about in a moment, is 31 days. 31 days has October. And so I'm going to keep showing up here and hopefully some of you might come along on the journey. You might watch the replay and learn some great stuff. We might build a connection. We might get to know each other. I mean, I actually don't know what's going to happen. It might all fall flat on its ass. No one watches anything. I learn some skills, show them in here, and basically use this community as a practice arena, which is basically what it is for all of you. And you might be wondering, well, why do we call it the coaching arena? It's very much inspired by the famous quote by Theodore Roosevelt that Brené Brown often opens her talks with. The quote's called The Man in the Arena. And it talks about the fact that it's not the critic that counts, the person that's sitting on the sidelines watching people having a go saying, oh, they're so crap at that. Oh, they should have done this better. It's the man or the woman in the arena who is becoming bloodied and marred, having a crack, risking it all, trying to learn and trying to grow. And so when we created our free Facebook group, well, this one's gone through several evolutions, but when we created our first free group for our students of our 7 Steps to 6 Figures program, I wanted to call it the coaching arena because I wanted to create an arena where people could show up and feel like there was just an absolute trust that they weren't going to get hassled or trolled or insulted or criticised, but instead cheered on, supported, encouraged, and given constructive and positive feedback. And that's very much the culture of the 7 Effect community. In fact, we have people, our clients who are in some of our deeper communities like our Lifestyle Entrepreneurs Academy saying, which is currently called the Lifestyle Business Builder Program, saying that it is one of the most supportive, encouraging and positive communities that they've ever been in Because let's face it, sometimes these arenas can get a little bit bitchy, and sometimes people can start being very judgmental or very cliquey or catty, and we don't want to have any of that stuff. So here I am showing up in my holidays, wearing the hoodie in the time off. That goes to show how dedicated I am to the business. Hanging at the beach, hair all a mess. And I'm going to keep this one relatively short today, but we'll see what happens as the month unfolds. I think it's good if I can just add some value, teach you a thing or two, and hopefully get to know a lot more about you as you get to know a lot more about me as we go on this journey. So, one of the things that got the most votes in the poll was positioning. How do I position myself as the go-to expert in my industry? And I thought, well, that's the great one that I will lead with today. Tell you a little bit about what we're doing and why we're doing it, or what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and the fact that you're 100% invited to come on this journey with me. Then I thought I'd teach you something, a little bit of value. So let's teach the thing that you want to know the most about. I'm going to flick my screen and bring up, ta-da, my trusty whiteboard. Now, I love the fact that I can do this. I'm just going to get myself in the right space because I've got so I'll just show you here, iPad plugged into the laptop, Apple Pencil, the app's called Notability. I'll just show you the app if you want. It's this one here with the little pencil, just there, Notability. That's the app that I'm using. A lot of people ask that question more than anything. So let's talk about you becoming the go-to expert in your industry. How does one do this? Well, I've come up with a little bit of a model for you. I thought a lot of people are very visual learners. Let's draw it out, shall we? Because basically the trusty Venn diagram is a really great space for those of you that teach. Coming up with your own models is a really great way to become the go-to expert, by the way. So the sweet spot in the middle, this part here, is what we are striving for. This is where we want to become the go-to. And so the question becomes, what are the 3 things that I need to do to achieve that? And what is the overlay, or what are the 3 things I need to do to actually achieve that? And then what are the key focus areas, or the things that I should be actually showing up and doing? So what we want is for you to become the go-to expert. You will need to, and now I don't know if you've ever seen work by Donald Miller or read his books, Building a Story Brand, which is really fantastic, and Marketing Made Easy. He says the key to becoming the expert is always be the guide, never the hero. And all good guides have 2 things. There's 2 aspects that you need. Number 1, you need to establish, trust. Trust. You want people to trust you. You need to become a trusted expert. And number 2, we want, empathy. Let's do that. I should have made it pink, but it's going to be yellow. Trust and empathy are the key things that you need to establish. Sorry, that's wrong actually. It's empathy. Oh, hang on. I'm having a mental breakdown here. What do we need to do? We have trust. Trust comes from empathy. That's right. So empathy is over here. This is my model and it's brand new just for you. Empathy and respect. You need people to respect you. You need people, oh gosh, Jody, here we go. We need people to trust you. Let's get it right. Those are the things. How do we get respect? We show authority. And how do we get trust? We show empathy. Sorry, I'm weaving part of Donald's model into mine. So here's the two things here. The bow tie that you need. You need to show empathy. And you also want to be respected as a person who knows what they're talking about and demonstrates authority. So when you are trusted and when you are respected, you are part way to becoming the go-to expert. How do we actually do that? Well, the very first thing we need to do is we need to learn how to become visible. And this is probably one of the biggest things that I see people struggling with when they are starting out in business or failing to grow and get the clients that they want. Now, I recently formed a partnership with SA Mums in Business, which is super exciting, and I've been coaching Sandra and Jess, the new owners, and in a matter of a month that we've been working together, they repackaged all their offerings, they relaunched the business, and they made over $35,000 in just 3 weeks. Boom! Pretty cool. So I've been coaching them on how to do that, and I'm actually very good at that. My areas of expertise is building programs, high-value programs that sell, and crunching the numbers and building a business model that's viable. And we have a whole bunch of tools that we help people to do that with. And Sandra and Jess had watched one of my webinars, jumped in and downloaded our coaches calculator, crunched their numbers, booked a fast path with me, got in there with their plan, and I said, look, I know your audience, I love where you're coming from, but I don't think this plan will make you money. So we pulled it apart, we rebuilt it, and they made 35 grand in just 3 weeks, which is so exciting, and I'm so thrilled for them. They also coached me a little bit along the way, and Sandra and Jess took me out for lunch last week at Chicken Salt, Extra Chicken Salt, a really cool place actually in the city. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's on Curry Street. Amazing food, fantastic vibe. It's a very groovy little place. Anyway, we were at Extra Chicken Salt, and Sandra was saying, because Sandra also owns hashtag Instaprints. She's very good on social media. She's very good at being visible. And she said to me, Jodes, it's amazing. You've got a big team now and you're growing so much, but are you open to some feedback about your socials? I can see the girls that you've hired, which is Jazz and Mars, are having fun and putting stuff out there, but where the heck are you? She didn't say heck, I think she said fuck. But anyway, where are you? You are not in them. It's not on brand. You are missing, my friend. And I went home and it really hit me. It really started eating at me and thinking, yeah, she's so right. For the last 2 months, I've been so fully booked. In fact, when I launched the 7 Effect, I made a commitment. If you're struggling to be fully booked, try this. Here's a really good strategy for you. When I launched the 7 Effect, I made a commitment to say, I shall never say I am busy. Because everyone's like, oh, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy, busy, busy. I'm too busy for that. I'm so busy. I thought, you know, I don't want to be busy. I'm a recovering workaholic. I want to be fully booked and then I want to be free. And so every time I said busy, I caught myself and I said, I'm fully booked. I'm fully booked. Funny thing is, I've become fully booked most of the time. So because I've been fully booked, here is my excuse. I haven't been as visible as I should be. And so Sandra's words were eating at me, and I listen to what people say and I take it away and I churn on it and I think they're right. There's some growth in here for me. So I decided to start showing up a lot more and sharing posts each day. Some of you might have seen. I've even started getting emails from people saying, Jodie, there's a spelling mistake in your post. I just got one from a lady on LinkedIn, and I love that. They go, oh, I don't mean to be picky. I'm just trying to help you along the way. Beautiful. I'm being visible. That's all good. So where was I going with this? Anyway, here is the exciting news. Just a couple of posts, a couple of days in, and using some of the techniques that I teach, it worked. We got a new client join our Lifestyle Business Builder program, and 3 more people reach out wanting to know more about how to work with me. Just from being visible. So the first thing you want to do if you want to become the go-to expert is be more visible. You also, though, in your visibility, want to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And so this is a really important thing that terrifies a lot of people. And when you are visible and vulnerable, the trust and the empathy takes care of itself. Now, even here, I'm being vulnerable. I'm showing up unprepared with a half-baked idea in my head about how to teach you to become the go-to expert. And the thing is, I know it intuitively. I'm just trying to put it into a model for you. And if you were here right at the start, you would have seen that in true vulnerability, I fumbled over the respect and trust, empathy, authority piece. And I was like, hang on a minute, which goes where? What goes with what? Just being real. When you are visible and you show up and you be vulnerable, people will trust you. People will empathize with you because they'll go, you are relatable. So that's the next thing I want you to do is actually allow yourself to just be real and make mistakes. And I can promise you what's going to happen over the next 31 days as I show up here with you is I'm going to make some absolute horrific blunders. I've already done one right out the gates. But I'm still alive. And one thing that I've learned about human beings is no one is as mean as you think they are. Well, some people appear mean, but they've just got anger issues sometimes, or they've got their own stuff going on. It's not about you, it's about them. But what I've come to realize from showing up, from being visible and incredibly vulnerable online, on stages, in front of people, just authentically, is most people are actually very supportive, encouraging, and will cheer you on, or at least go, wow, look at what she's doing. Some people, if they follow you long enough, will even come up to you and be very vulnerable and say, you know what, when you first started doing what you were doing, I thought you were an idiot and I didn't like what you said, but I've been watching you for a while and I just think that what you're doing is quite amazing. And they look back and they think it was more about me being judgmental than you being an idiot. So don't worry about that. All right, what's the third thing you need to do? Well, the third thing is you need to be valuable. And this is where my vulnerability comes in again because I'm dyslexic and I can't spell value. One of the reasons why I'm doing this is I want to practice this. I want to get better. I want to be really good at bringing up my whiteboard, drawing models out for you, spelling it right nicely, writing it, drawing it in a way that you can see it. And so you'll get to see me improve with that over time. And what colour should we make valuable? We'll make it purple. Oops, wrong thing. What I mean by valuable is actually delivering something of worth, showing up and giving people something that they can use, something that they can learn from, something that they can implement. When you are valuable and vulnerable, you become an inspiration. And the nice thing about this, sorry about my small writing there, I'll make that bigger and put it over to the side. The nice thing about this is then you start to get letters from people who are saying, you know what, I love how real and honest you are, Jodes, and you've inspired me to have a crack. I've watched you doing your challenges or doing these things online, and I've decided I'm just going to leap in and go for it. Because you almost pave the way where you allow other people to see that not only is it not dangerous and deathly to take a risk and operate outside of your comfort zone, but a lot of the time it can be incredibly rewarding and it can get you where you want to go. So that is my tips on how to become the go-to expert. Number one, you must start becoming visible. And so you might want to think about it and go, okay, what is the way that I can start being more visible to my community? For me, I've set myself a challenge, and this is just how I work, and you'll have your own structure of what works for you. I'm the kind of person who will follow through when I am accountable to others. This is why the Goals Club was such a magical thing for me, and it truly transformed my life. If I have to show up to you each day for 31 days throughout October, and I put it out there, like with 75 Hard, which we did at the start of this year, I'll stick at it. If I'm just to make a commitment to myself on my own, I'll quit. I'll make excuses and I'll stop doing it. So whatever your way of showing up and being visible is, think about that. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What is a way that you can be more visible? Is it just simply doing a post each day? Pick your platform. At the moment, I'm experimenting with Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram because I have a team. And so I'm actually not doing, a lot of people are going, wow, Jody, you're everywhere and you're putting so much stuff out there. And it's like, yeah, but it's not just me. I'm not doing that. I've got a team that are doing those things for me. So don't feel like if you don't have a team, you don't need to be in all of those places. Pick one platform and decide where you will be visible. If you're not an online person, the fact that you're here and watching this suggests that potentially you are, but if you're not the type of person who's going to show up online, then find a community, a meetup group, or a space where people actually meet face to face if you're in a city that is not constantly in lockdown. The reality is these days, most people are fairly comfortable being online. You don't have to do video, so this is not the only way that you can be visible. You could write words, you could share photos, you can teach, you can talk, you could do a podcast. That's something that I launched this week as well. So there's lots of different ways there. I'd love to hear in the chat, how will you be more visible in your community? Number two, be vulnerable. Be prepared to make mistakes. Be authentic. Be real. Say what's really going on for you. I'm here without a solid plan, but with a desire to just learn in a transparent, open and honest way. So the truth is, me showing up here is just as much as for me as it is for you. And really, if we look at it, I'm being visible. The vulnerability part is about me wanting to learn and grow and share my stuff and just be authentic. And the valuable stuff is about me saying, well, as I do that, let's not do that in a self-indulgent way that's all helpful for me, but let's do that by teaching things that could help others along the way, because most of the people in our community are women who are here because they want to build a business that sets them free. Most of the people in our community are women who are inspired by the idea that it just might be possible to make 6 figures a year without working 58 hours a day. And I can tell you it's absolutely possible. And I want you to find your path to be able to do that. We've helped enough women now achieve that, in fact, exceed that I can hand on heart guarantee that you can do it if you do the right things. So how will you be vulnerable? How will you show up as you? And I just wanted to share a little insight in this because it's a very interesting thing that goes on with vulnerability. I don't do LinkedIn, but I've started in the last couple of days, just doing a post each day. I'm going, okay, whatever I'm sharing here, just it takes 5 minutes a day. Just get in the habit each morning, just do something on LinkedIn to start becoming more visible. Try and add something of value. Now, here's something I want to share with you. There's a psychological block with me and LinkedIn. And some of you may relate to this because I know I've had coaching calls with clients that say this if they've spent time in the professional corporate world. When they try and be vulnerable, there's a block that comes up for them and they go, oh, I don't know why, but I just get all stiff and like I need to be polished, perfectionistic. I have noticed that in me, and I think this is why I've avoided LinkedIn for so long. So when I was in the corporate world, I was all over LinkedIn. I was using LinkedIn to create connections. I was using LinkedIn to understand the industry and the market. I was building my community on LinkedIn. Then I quit my job and we launched the 7 Effect, which is the lifestyle business, 3 days a week, 6 figures a year, yada, yada. And I kind of turned my back on the corporate world. I was like, you know what? You burned me. I don't want to speak to you anymore. And LinkedIn was a big part of that. And so each time I've had a crack at going back into LinkedIn, this sort of visceral feeling of comes up to me. And I know I could, I'm really just becoming more and more aware of this the more I lean into it. I know as an NLP master how to remove those types of experiences and I know how to work through it. So it's not something that needs to hold me back in the future. It's just something that I'm becoming aware of in the moment. But here's the thing I wanted to share with you about vulnerability. When I write a post on LinkedIn, I sometimes copy it and then paste it into Facebook. And then I read through it. And it's so funny. I was laughing at myself the other day and I go, oh, I write really stiff in LinkedIn, very teachy and very kind of, it's a different vibe. When I put it into Facebook, I feel like I just be myself. I go, oh, I wouldn't say it like that. What am I thinking? And so my lesson there is write it in Facebook first, copy it into LinkedIn after. Much more effective. But isn't it interesting the powers of the unconscious mind and how it can really change the way we show up, even from a simple social media app? LinkedIn versus Facebook has an unconscious bias over the way I show up and I write and I communicate. So that's just an awareness that I found, and maybe there's something in that for you as well. Any of it can be busted through. All right, and the final thing is be valuable. What do I mean by that? Teach people how to get results. Help people create change. Understand where people want to go and map out the steps that will help them get there. All right, that is day 1 done. I don't know how it's going to go with times of me showing up in here. I'll just bring back my beach scene. I'll test them. I don't have a set time frame. I'm kind of going to do it a little bit random. Jason and the kids come back from the desert in a minute. I've got to race home and clean the floors and make it all nice for him to arrive home with the children. They've been off in the Simpson Desert for a while. So tomorrow I'll have a chat to Jay, so I'll see what we're doing. And the reason I've decided to just do it live in here is because sometimes it might just be me on my phone, out living life and sharing stuff. But my goal really is to come into the office one day, at least for half an hour each day for the month of October, so I can develop some skills using eCam, because that's really what I want to do. So that's it for day 1. If you are watching the replay, thanks very much. If you've tuned into it live, thanks very much. Please comment below. Let me know what topics you would love to learn more about as the month unfolds. If you're watching this on YouTube, because we'll have the replay up here for you on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. That way each day one of these goes out, you'll get notification. And also comment down here in YouTube and I'll read your comments and come up with some more topics to help you create a life you're wildly in love with and build a business that sets you free. That's it from me. Have a great weekend, everyone. I feel like it's the weekend already, but it's Friday. Is it Friday? I think it's Friday. Anyway, have a great weekend. I'll see you tomorrow.